Although playing Black Ops 3 and slaying the endless hordes of zombies is pretty fun, at some point you're gonna get tired. But for you, the player, it's very simple. You can just pause the game and go out and get some food. Make your food. Socialize with your friends. You could, if you have a, a trigger warning, a JOB.
The word today is job. J-O-B.
But what are your characters supposed to do? Many people think that they just kind of sit there while they're waiting for you to return while the game is paused, but that requires them to stand on their legs for constant, and painful hours. Many people don't know this, but Black Ops 3 and Jason Blundell thought about this way ahead of anyone else. The characters are actually programmed to sit. And you might think, Brody, does this mean that the characters have conscience? Absolutely. And we didn't recognize it. But there's a clear difference between a royal chair woven by peasants of a lower life form and a rusty old wooden chair made by some random farmhand. So in this video, I'm going to go through multiple chairs that I deemed are at least worthy of being notable within Black Ops 3 Zombies to determine which chair is the best. But before we continue forward, I actually want to address some rules first, because rules are very important. Number one, the only maps we are counting for this video is Shadows of Evil, Horizondrock, Zetsubou no Shima, Garad Krovi, and Revelations. I'm not counting any of the Chronicle maps because they just wouldn't fit in this video. Totally not, because I could just make another video with that, and I could just have you guys watch that video as well to get double the views. I mean, if you can't see it right now, but I'm twiddling my evil mustache. It's very curly, and I'm twisting it. I look like I belong in a cowboy flick or something. I look very evil at the moment. You can't see it, but ooh, you wish you could. You wish you could. Rule 2, it has to be an actual chair. It actually has to be something that was made for the purpose of sitting on. A random box with a rug on it in the back corner of Shadows of Evil right outside the wrestling ring doesn't exactly count as a chair. I'm sorry. Rule 3, accessories are going to count in determining if a chair is better than others. For that, I mean, if a chair is accompanied with a desk, anything on that desk and the desk itself is accompanied with the chair for the experience. But if there is substantial distance between chair and desk, or if there's just nothing present, then the chair will be viewed as is. And if you guys watch this video and you have enjoyed it, stay tuned, because the next upload is going to be which mini-boss gives the best sloppy toppy. But without further ado, let's finally get to the bottom of this long-asked question. What is the best chair in Black Ops 3 Zombies?
Hey, you.
Starting off with the first map, Shadows of Evil, the first chair of the video can actually be found if you just make your way up to this little rooftop up here, and into your way into Nero's little magician room. Take a look to your left, and you will find the first chair of discussion. Just getting a nice up-and-close view at the couch, you get to see that this is very, very comfortable. You can easily sleep on this couch, rest on it all you want. There is a bit like marks here and there, like as shown, where you got these little two bits that obviously look like these are wear and tear, but if they're wear and tear, that clearly means that Nero has had these couches for a long while, and that they are very, very comfortable to sit on. Another thing to note is that you have defenses. Yes, defenses while your character is sitting down while you're doing whatever you're doing. Look at this. You have 5. Look at that. Count with me here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 5 swords in this box that your character has access to. As well as you probably already saw it. Hold on. Let's look to the right. What is that? Hold on, let's get a closer look. Do my eyes deceive me? No, they do not. That is a hacksaw, ladies and gentlemen. Forget about the sword. You get to do some ripping and tearing with the hacksaw. As well as if you also just look to the right again, we have this nice, beautiful little marble tiny cabinet, which you might think, our character can store our guns. No. You can push it just a little bit at a nice comfortable distance, and you can go ahead and rest your feet on here as a leg support. You're also given this really cool red lamp that kind of looks like those red mushroom lights from like the frogs or whatever. I don't even know if they have a red one. You know, in my eyes, there's a red one, which looks really cool. But also, I can already tell in the comments, you're probably already typing it down. Brody, this is, a couch. A couch isn't a chair. Are you stupid? Are you dumb? And to that I say, shut up. It's gonna count as a chair, alright? All a couch is an elongated chair. If anything, I'd argue a bar stool. is less of a chair, then a couch is less of a chair. A couch is simply just more chair. A bar stool is less chair. Switching to the sitting POV, you get to see how actually really nice it is to sit down on this couch. You have a nice view of the lamp, as well as quick, easy access to 2 of the swords. You might have to do a bit of, configuring with the other 3 swords, but honestly, all you could really do is dual wield 2. Unless you're really strong and you got like gorilla grip on your toes, you can't really do much with the other swords. Switching down to a top-down view, you get to see those candles a bit more, as well as this really nice, what is this, like a skylight? You get to see, look at that, you got the rain droplets dribbling down onto Morgue City, and you are just basking in it. As well as if we just go down as well, you get to really see these other windows here, which are really nice. As well as this being taking place in Nero's Magician Room, another really cool aspect of it is that you actually have a form of entertainment. Over here, we actually have the same little spinner thing that he used to kill his wife. Yes, you get to see Nero killing his wife constantly in this location. What more could you want? But with this being the first chair of the video, this is a really, really good runner-up in the list of chairs that I have to show you guys. And all the next chair has us doing is just moving over to the left side of the map, we enter the Ruby Rabbit. Now, the Ruby Rabbit itself is a very nice sociable bar. Look at this. You got all these nice little bar stools. I already said I don't like bar stools, but look at these guys. Look at these guys. They look like it was like Japanese cheesecakes or whatever. They look really comfortable to sit on. Hell, I would take a bite out of it, especially if what's her name, Jessica, Scarlett, whatever the hell her name is, if she sat on this, I would be biting this shit like I was a starved homeless person. All right, I am straight gnawing the leather off of these chairs. Misty from Black Ops 2 sits down on one of these chairs. Forget gnawing, dude. I am. There's foam at my mouth. All right, I'm like a rabid dog. The real main star that I want to show you for the next chair is if we just turn 180 degrees. Look at this guy. Hold on. What was that? You want a closer look? Absolutely. Look at this beautiful scenery, might I mind you. Not only does this chair look absolutely comfortable, honestly, call me cuckoo in the brain, I think that this is actually the same material used on Nero's couch. But also, you're accompanied with an actual like ottoman to actually rest your legs on, as well as this piece. I don't know what this piece is. It looks like a more confusing ottoman. It doesn't look like a chair, but it looks different. It looks totally wacky, and I'm glad it's a part of the set. We got ourselves an entire bottle of wine for us. There's 2 glasses, but we all know it's just going to be us. This really cool red lamp. But what really sells it is this really, really nice, what was it, like a blossom tree? A blossom tree? I can't believe we're in Tokyo, guys. However, switching to the POV, you get to really see how nice it is just sitting in this chair would be with this ottoman, this random little desk thing, as well as how easy of access you have to the lamp, and just really just looking over to seeing this nice painting. But one big drawback I can notice is just you're in an empty bar. Look how empty this is. I mean, you have this guy right here, but he's not going to be there all the time. Especially not perked up and spread eagle like that, alright? Ooh, hello, you fine piece of ass. However, one big drawback is that this bar is empty. Alright, all they got now is zombies, and it's just you. There are no people in Morgue City left alive to socialize and drink and really bring an environment. If this bar had some zombies playing some nice funky jazz, as well as maybe a little zombie girl trying to blow on your M16, maybe it could have been a really cool vibe. But aside from this, there isn't really much going for it. Aside from that, it just looks like a comfortable chair with the nice little pieces around you. But as far as everything on the outside perspective, it could be better. You're in a bar. It's like making a cake with no icing. It's gonna taste good, sure, but it doesn't have any decoration to really show for it. Now, the next chair actually isn't that far away. All we gotta do is just come around here, take this little turn, and then boom, look at this guy right here. Now, the chair isn't anything of luxury like anything the Ruby Rabbit has, but it does look pretty comfortable just on its own. But what really sells it is the view, which I'm about to show you in a second, but first, let's get the accessories out of the way. You have a nice little lamp right here, which gives off some nice light. A phone. You can call your buddies while you're on this phone, or while your character can call their buddies while they're on the phone. You get this nice little drinking glass on the left of you, but unfortunately there is no drink accompanying this chair, as well as an ashtray that has a single cigarette in it. But transitioning into a POV of it, you get to see that you have access to look at the entire room. But what really sells it is if you just look to your right, you get a really, really nice view of Morgue City. In front of you, you have the Ruby Rabbit, you have the showroom, or whatever this is. You get this building, I don't know, it looks cool, as well as the walkway where you can see all the zombies come and go as they please. You can also faintly see the outside buildings and skyscrapers of Org City as well, but what really sells it is just the rain falling down from this window. I could just leave this video right here, put some lo-fi music and call it a day and make this a 24-hour stream, and I could make billions. I can make billions. This is such a good view. And although the view's nice, we actually have to move on to the next chair that I have to show you guys. Which, if we just go down all the way to the waterfront district, alright, hello Kuda, goodbye Kuda, go up here, make our way all the way down here to the wrestling ring. Now you say, Brody, the wrestling ring? What are you talking about? There can't clearly be a comfortable chair in the wrestling ring. Let's just come up here, alright, come down here, and then boom, here we have it. Now, although the chair here is just some wooden, clunky piece of garbage, and it isn't really comfortable to sit on from just looking at it, obviously, what really sells this plot are the accessories that are given to you on this desk right here. Going from left to right here, you can clearly see that there are a lot of good accessories. You have a bucket that you can use for all your latrine purposes, whether if you got a pee-pee or poo-poo. You got a pack of cigarettes you can smoke. You got yourself a bunch of newspapers you can read. You got yourself a dumbbell if you want to get your Sam Sulik on. An ashtray to accompany that pack of cigarettes. But what really does it for me is the carton of cigarettes. Yes, the carton of cigarettes you see displayed before you. Just look at it. It's a green carton of cigarettes. If you asked me, if I didn't know any better, I would say that these are Newports. Alright, you have a carton of Newports displayed for you. Now, switching to the POV shot, you don't really get a whole lot of an atmosphere going on, but if you look to your left, you actually have the entire ring to look at. So if you want to give yourself a nice little zombie little stage fight, alright, move over Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, move over UFC, move over everybody, alright? You know, I'll even toss myself in the ring, alright? You know, me versus whoever, whatever zombie YouTuber you want. Put it down in the comments below. Which zombie YouTuber you want to see me fight, huh? I'll mop the floor with them easy. You know what? I want you guys to make John Jones make a zombies video so he can technically call himself a zombies YouTuber and then put me in the ring with him. I'll mop the floor clean with him. I will kill. These are my words, no one else's. All right? You have a problem? Come fight me about it, all right? You come to my house today. And those are all the chairs I have for Shadows of Evil. Obviously, there are a whole lot more, but those are the key chairs I figured would be best suitable for comfort. Now, with the next map being Die Rise, let's make no time. Let's head over. Making our way now into Die Rise and Drag, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are actually very familiar with this next chair that we're about to show. And it's this one right here. Just from the opposite side of Quick Revive over here, this chair itself isn't really all too much. All it is basically your standard like metal bar stool. If I had to guess, I would say that this chair isn't really the most comfortable to sit down in, and definitely not really the most enjoyable sitting experience. As you can tell, it looks like it has burn marks on it, which means that some dude was probably lighting his ass on fire on this bar stool. And now you just gotta suffer the consequences on his baked ass farts, but you know. And the desk doesn't really have much to offer. It has a whole lot of storage with all these drawers, which are really nice. But you're given a typewriter that doesn't have any paper in it, so all you can really do is kind of click-clack with it. You got a phone that I guess you can call your buddy on, but it doesn't have that same environment as the phone chair from Shadows of Evil. You're also given this magical lamp, and the reason why I call it magical is that if you actually look up at it, the light isn't actually on. However, if you look at the desk from an overshot view, the light is on, which is very interesting. And switching to the POV shot here, you don't really get much. Honestly, I would say this looks more like a desk you would find in like a Five Nights at Freddy's game or something like that. I mean, if you look behind you, sure, you got Quick Revive, but it isn't exactly in reaching distance by any means. Your view isn't really given much. You can't see throughout these windows, and what you can see is honestly just, I guess, walls and other windows, railings. You're not really given much. And the next chair actually isn't very far away. All we gotta do is just go over the bridge, go into this room, take a right, and then here we have the next chair. Now you might say, Brody, this chair is already occupied. It has a zombie in it. Now, this may be a zombie for you, but to me, this is nothing more than just a sitting buddy, alright? What was that? You want to work on your pedicure skills? No problem. This zombie's dogs are out in the open for you to work on. No problem. No fees at all. Also, unlike Shadows of Evil, where every ashtray had like a half-lit cigarette, Now, not only do you have that half-lit cigarette, you're also given an almost full cigarette as well. And switching to the POV shot, you get a really nice view of the entire, like, cabin that you're in. The ceiling is really nice as well, with these, like, little lights kind of coming in. That's totally not damage to the ceiling. You're given some banners, which, although hateful, it adds some, it just adds hate. These are hate symbols. Ignore the banners. But ignore the banners, look to the right, and then boom, you get this. It's not a full window exactly, but it's enough to where you can see the snow falling. You get to embask it, all right? You got a little window that you can blow your smoke out of if you want to smoke one of the cigarettes. But more importantly, let's just look to our left. Can you say no to this face? I can't. I just love its crooked teeth and its nice goopy flesh. Ooh, and how its nose is just not there anymore. How can you say no? As well as if we just look down, I mean, come on. I mean, the zombie's hands are already, like, grasping it at this point. You know, we might as well, I mean, just saying. You know, it's there. It's a possibility. It could happen if you want to sit in this chair. And although this chair is very comfy and we want to talk to our zombie buddy for hours and hours on end, unfortunately, we do have to move on to the next chair for Horizon Drox. So let's give our little buddy a little bit of a goodbye smooch. And let's move onward. Far away. All you gotta do is just go down here, and then boom, it's right here. And although this chair doesn't have any cushioning and it's purely made out of wood, just look at its design. This looks like it was hand and hard crafted by some random lumberjack all the way in Norway. This is a very nice looking piece, and I would be honored to have my buttocks placed on a throne such as this. Now, I have a theory that the lumberjack in question actually made this specific chair for a nephew of his who had broken arms constantly, because I can't really see myself being comfortable with how these armrests are. They're groovy, they look weird. I guess if you just put your elbow down in that center, I guess, but it doesn't really look all that comfortable. And looking at the accessories, I mean, just starting off, we have the Chronorium, the book that contains everything in the Call of Duty Zombies storyline. You can read up and brush up on the entire lore in just one sitting. And just like earlier how you had the zombie buddy you could talk to, here you have this pecan bird, or whatever they're called. I know they roam around at zoos or what. This might be a different bird that I'm thinking of. But you get this really cool bird that you can talk to. Like, again, you can complain about all the problems in your life, you can vent, you can do whatever you want, and this bird will just stand there and listen to you. It's a nice little therapy session you could have with a bird. That's totally not a statue. And with this chair wrapping up the Horizon Drox, it's time to head over to the next map of the video, and that is Zetsubonoshima.
I'm sorry, I don't speak Japanese.
And now that we're in Zetsubonoshima, it's time that I be honest with you. There is no good chairs in this map. Zetsubonoshima doesn't really have any good views either. You have a plane that kind of comes around, but aside from that, most of the chairs are in the bunker. And there's nothing to see in the bunker aside from a bunker with cobwebs. So although Zetsubonoshima doesn't really have much for us to see, the other maps actually do. So it's honestly better if we just move on anyways.
Alright, which one of you crap your pants?
Now that we're in Garage Provi, our first chair is actually just a bit over here in spawn, and it's actually this dead dragon that you see right before your eyes. Getting this top view of the dragon, you can really see how, like, warm and very soft the chair in this dragon could possibly be, just sitting in it for hours and hours on end. And going into the POV shot of this, you get a really nice view of the destruction of Stalingrad, which I guess that looks cool. You have a crashed plane on the ground. And also, forget about all the dragons spewing fire on you, you're inside a dragon. This ribcage appears protecting you for a reason. But in all seriousness, the actual first chair of Garage Provi is actually going to be just up in the second tower, right over here on this couch. And although this couch isn't really vast in its accessories, it has two main accessories that I think outshines all the others because they simply just don't have this. Pillows and a blanket. Not only could you just sit on this couch to get a nice fresher breath of air, you could literally just take a nap as well. Which honestly isn't really the best safe thing to do in a zombie apocalypse, but I mean, at some point you're gonna get tired. And although you could sleep sitting, it's better to sleep laying down. And having a blanket for that as well is absolutely absurd. It looks more like an oversized napkin, but honestly, you gotta take what you can get. And although being inside a burning furniture store isn't that much of a good view, you at least have access to look at these really nice photos while you're drifting off to sleep. Now, I know you sleepyheads just want to lay down on this couch and just drift off to Never Never Land, but unfortunately, we got some more chairs to sit through. So, without further ado, let's go to our next one, which honestly isn't that far away. It's just literally right next to Juggernaut. Although this chair just seems like your average run-of-the-mill wooden chair, it actually does have wheels on the bottom for you to actually roll around the room with. Someone better get Kevin Gates on the line because we have 2 phones here on this desk. I don't even have 2 people in my contact list to communicate with. I don't know why you need 2 phones during the destruction of Stalingrad while there's dragons flying around. No one's going to be picking up these phones, but they're here anyways, and I love it for it. You're also given a wine bottle and a cup to put the wine in. You're given this really bright lamp to the point where it's kind of hard to see what it's even shining on. I think it's a clipboard with a pin. You're also given 2 boxes underneath the table to actually put your stuff in, I guess, if you want to do that. Now, unfortunately, one big drawback here is that there is a lot of hate. For example, you have like 3 of these iron cross banners, which just aren't cool. I mean, one's kind of covered up by Juggernog, so that's, I guess, diminishing the problem a little, I guess, but the problem is still there. Also, literally to the right of the desk, there is a certain uniform as well. Not really vibing with it. Also, if you look to your right on another chair, there's the hat. And unfortunately, switching to the POV side of things while you're in this chair, there isn't really much to look at aside from the Juggernog machine. You can't really see much going on outside, and aside from that, there isn't really much going on from at least an atmosphere view, aside from just you being in this room. But I don't know about you, I feel very icky being in this room with this uniform, hat, and all these banners. Let's get out of here and move onward to the next and also final chair of this map. And it's kind of far away, at least compared to other spots. So we're just going to skip through over here. Hi, Mr. Giant Robot. Alright, now we're down in the command center, and we're going to take this left, and then here we have it. Although it's hard to see, this chair is just your average run-of-the-mill basic wooden chair that actually does have a bit of a cushion where your buttocks will obviously go. But switching to the desk, you get to see that we are given a phone, a nice vase of beautiful flowers. These flowers look really nice. But switching to the POV, you don't really get much of a view, but having access to look at the entire office, which I assume this is very nice. You got yourself an entire bookshelf to your left, which I don't know what books are here, but it is a bit too far of a way, so I'm going to give you guys the leverage if you guys want to count these books as reachable or not. That's completely up to you. But what really sells this spot is just looking at the front and seeing both these doors open. But this looks like the FNAF 2 office. I'm just saying. I see it. I don't know if y'all see it, but I see it. But I'm not sure if any of y'all know this, but the Mangler, the mini-boss for Garage Crovey, was actually developed by Scott Cawthon. He actually called me like 5 seconds ago to confirm it, and he was like, yes, I did create the Mangler, so who would have thought, you know? But this chair right here marks the end for all that Garage Crovey has to offer. And without a further ado, let's move on to the final map of this video with the final set of chairs, and that is Revelations. Now what you want to do is head over to the Kino area of the map, which is right by the Shangri-La and Horizon area, and you want to look for this specific chair right here. Visually alone is enough to just describe how cool this chair looks. I can't even really put it in emphasis. This is like gold wrapped ivory on a couch. I don't even know exactly what I'm really looking at here. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any pillows or anything of the sort, but I mean, just the look alone is really nice. And going into the laying down POV, you get a really nice view of Revelations skybox, which honestly, in my opinion, is one of the best skyboxes in COD Zombies history. And now, to end off Revelations and all the maps for Black Ops 3, we have the final chair that I have to show you guys. Heading down into the Origins Mound and coming out of the Mob of the Dead, you are given this wooden chair right here. So kicking off, although this chair looks very basic, I think this is one of the best wooden chairs we've seen so far in this video. But what really sells this little piece here is the environment around you. You have all these medical devices and instruments and serums that you can do with and do what you want. You have all these flasks and beakers and Bunsen burners, I think that's how you call it. You have a couple books, which I can only presume are medical books. You're also given this corpse, which I guess you could embalm with, I guess, for any of you guys watching this video that are going into like mortuary school or something. Maybe this chair is the best suited for you. You're also given a really nice light that's shining down on the body that you could work with. But it all kind of depends on if this environment is obviously suited for you. There's, especially to the POV, you get to really see all the instruments and tools and entertainment you have just in display right in front of you. But once again, like I stated, if this isn't your thing, like dealing with dead bodies, which I guess that, which is, I would assume it is a very high percentage of people. But think about it like this, all right? The zombie apocalypse has happened. At least you can now do your house empty roleplay, all right? You gotta look on the bright side of things if you want your dark days to get better. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of Revelations, which also concludes the end for all of the chairs in Black Ops 3. But that's actually a lie, because there are countless and millions upon millions of other chairs worth of view within Black Ops 3, but here I just handpicked a couple. Obviously, if there are some that I clearly missed, and you're like, hey, you didn't mention this chair in Horizon Drock or something like that, I'm highly offended. I didn't mean to cause no harm, alright? I assure you, okay? I understand how important chairs are in today's society. But leave down in the comments below if I missed any certain chairs. But now it comes down to the big part of it all. What do I think is the best chair we've seen so far? Now, I've actually had to stop, go outside in the rain, sit in my car, listening to some Alice in Chains, just to really get into the mood of what I think would be the best and most comfortable chair. And honestly, there was only really two that came to my mind. And that was the couch with the pillows and blanket in Garad Crovey, and the green chair in the smoking lounge in Shadows of Evil. And the reason why those two specifically are so tough is because, number one, Shadows of Evil, the green chair has such a vibe with it. Not only does the chair look clearly comfortable, but you get this really nice view of Morgue City, as well as a nice, clear shot of the Ruby Rabbit, which is really, really cool to see from afar. As well with Shadows of Evil having rain constantly pouring down the map, it really just fits that, like, noir vibe of Shadows of Evil. But on the other hand, we have the couch from Garad Crovey with the blanket and pillows, and the reason why I really like this is because, I'm not gonna lie, I sleep a lot, alright? It's a big problem, alright? Sleeping and procrastination are the two melting pots that make the Brody 115 cake, alright? You ever see my videos, alright? You ever looked at the publishing dates and were like, damn, why are these so far apart? It's because I am snoozing, alright? I might say, oh, it's because I have work. That might be the truth, but honestly, it's because I'm catching Z's, alright? You come into my room, there are several sheep hovering over my sleeping body. After I'm done voicing this, guess what I'm gonna do, guys? I'm gonna sleep. Which honestly, because of just how I am, I honestly believe that I have to give the winner, at least so far, to the couch in Garad Crovey. I have to give it to the couch, alright? I have to give it to the couch with the blanket and pillows, alright? But you guys might feel different, alright? You guys might actually say, well, actually, I do like the cobweb-ridden metal bar stools on Zetsubou no Shima. Obviously, I'm gonna have to take you out back and pop a shell in your head because I don't deem you as human anymore for having such opinions like that. But whatever floats your boat. But leave down in the comments what you think the best chair was. Maybe there's something I missed in one of the chairs that I talked about. And like I said before, if there's a chair I missed, let me know down below. This is a very serious topic, and Treyarch and Activision and Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer, everybody that has ever worked on a Call of Duty game ever should honestly be taking these chairs way more seriously. But anyways, if you guys made it through, honestly, thank you. This was a video I decided to make just out of the blue. I felt like this was a dumb video to make, and I honestly believe that it is a dumb video. But if you guys enjoyed it for whatever reason, like, subscribe, all that. Share it with all your family members. I'm sure they would really get a kick out of me. Not. But with nothing more to add, I'm gonna get out of your guys' hair, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.